First story is titled, Am I the a-hole for calling out my brother for blocking me on social media? I know it sounds petty, but hear me out. My brother Don, male 34, and Tyler, male 33, and me, female 28, were very close while growing up. 5 years ago, Don got fired and was in a bad place emotionally and financially. I was earning good money during this time, so I supported him as much as I could. He had some employment opportunities outside his academic field, but he rejected them. My parents were critical about it, but Tyler and me were there for him. We were like, dude, follow your dreams. We got you. Fast forward 2 years ago. Don gets a new job and he earns a lot of money. He kinda drifts apart from Tyler and me. He meets a girl, they get married, and they have a baby. He becomes kinda snobby. I get fired during this time, and when I ask him for money when my savings run out, he ignores me and says he is not in a good place to help me. I start to see on his social media the good life he has, and I get the word his wife says he hates that Don has to support his lazy family. I confront him, and he implies that I am stalking him online. He blocks me, my parents, and Tyler of all social media. My parents don't mind. They don't use them anyway. Tyler is upset, but he is chill. I am hurt, but whatever. We still call each once in a while. A year ago, while I was jumping between part-time jobs, I started to work on an illustrated children's book. Writing a book has been my dream since I'm little, and everyone in my family knows it. Last time, like years ago, I had a heart-to-heart chat with Don. I told him I was giving up my dream. That's the last thing he listens about the matter. I've been documenting the creation of this book on social media, and even my extended family got excited. A week ago, I got news from an editorial willing to publish this book. It is not a millionaire deal, but wow! I video call my family, including the extended part, and I tell them. Everyone is excited, but Don is dumbfounded. He's like, why am I just knowing this? Okay, you say I never call, but you never tell me what's going on in your life. He kinda likes to blame us for not being close to him anymore. I got upset because it was not the time to guilt trip me. My extended family gives him weird looks and tells him I've been documenting this process on every social media I have. Don is still sulking, and then I say something like, oh, you don't know. Don has me blocked online because he thinks I am constantly assessing his fortune or something. Don is mad, but we end up the call pretending everything is fine. Mom is upset because I publicly called Don out. She has dumb rivalry with my extended family and likes to pretend we are the perfect family. Dad is saying he deserved it, but he'd rather see me wait and confront him. Tyler is ecstatic. Am I the a-hole? I feel so stupid. I feel I ruined my good moment and severed even more my relationship with Don. On the other hand, I hate that he plays the victim. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Despite having blocked you in social media, he expected you to call him separately and give him the same updates you were issuing in social media? This seems unreasonable. I suppose you could have left it without saying that part, but I don't see that you had to. He blocks her, then complains they don't talk anymore and he's left out of the loop? I am boggled by what an a-hole this dude is. Also, to turn her big announcement around and make it about him? What is he, a child? As far as I'm concerned, telling other out-of-the-loop family members that he blocked her a while ago was the nicest response. Certainly more polite than I would have been. He was also okay receiving financial help from his little sister when he needed it. But when she needed it, he refused and was upset about it? Dude is a total a-hole. Not an a-hole. Tyler is ecstatic. Good, he should be. Good for you. Don sounds like a jerk. Seriously, OP supports him, cares for him, and then he goes and ditches her when she is in a bad place. When his wife starts accusing her of stuff, she tried to defend herself and gets blocked. And now that she's becoming successful again, he's mad that she didn't call him to give him the same updates she posted online. What is wrong with this dude? Not an a-hole, but your brother is not a person I would want to be around. I wonder if he only wants back in your life because OP has become successful again. Not an a-hole. He's free to block you. You're free to call him out on it. From what you described, no lies were told. At some point, if you ever reconcile, remind him blood is thicker than water. Explain to him how hurt you were that he turned his back on you when you were down. To be honest, I can't say much about his wife. It doesn't sound like you heard her complain yourself, so that's hearsay. There's always a risk that a new spouse will come between siblings, and that's unfortunate. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my brother not to ask for honesty when he never wants to hear it? My 27 female, brother 30 male, lost his wife 6 years ago. They had 2 children together who are 12 female and 10 male now. For the past 3/4 or so years, my brother has tried to get back into the dating game. He's had a few girlfriends, 2 who met the kids and his latest ex who also met the kids, but I could tell he was more serious about her because he talked about potentially marrying her. But he has said for a while that he doesn't know why none of the relationships last. He has asked several members of our family what we think is going on, and those who have attempted to answer, he shuts them off. He either talks over them or ignores what they say. The truth is, the kids have not wanted him to date. They have told us they are very afraid of their mom being replaced when we have talked to them about what is going on. So they have actively tried to chase away the girlfriends they were introduced to, and my brother seems to not see it. At first, I thought he was ignoring it, but now I think he actually doesn't see it and has made up something worse in his head, which is why he shuts us down. It could be very heavy denial. I'm not sure at this point. So after the latest breakup, he asked me personally what was going wrong. He said nobody ever tells him, and I cut him off. I told him that he has asked so many times, has gone to so many family members, and he has shut them down and out. I told him if he wants to actually hear what we have to say, then he needs to be prepared for honesty, and if he doesn't, he needs to stop asking for it. He's now saying I was rude, and I could have just answered when he asked. But I didn't want to get shut down the way all the others do. My family said they were glad I spoke up because they didn't know how to. Despite their saying I did the right thing, my brother is so angry that I wonder if I should have just tried to tell him and dropped it if he didn't listen to me either. I also had a friend/roommate tell me that I wasn't very helpful, which again makes me question if I was right. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole, but your brother and his kids all need to go to therapy stat. Retweet. Kids are traumatized from losing their mother so young. He's in serious denial and needs to sort through his feelings. Not the a-hole. Your family was obviously trying to answer the question for him and it got nowhere. What good would you repeating the same answer to the same response do? Sometimes what you need to hear isn't what you want to hear, and your brother was not accepting that. By saying what you did, you broke the cycle. Maybe it will help him think, maybe it won't. But either way, you're not at fault for his refusal to accept an answer. Not the a-hole. I get that your brother is hurting, but it's obnoxious and childish to ask someone for an answer and then refuse to hear it. It's also disrespectful to the person you're asking. A mature adult accepts the answers they are given and doesn't just keep asking the same question over and over if they're not willing to let the problem be solved. That's just whining. Perhaps some family therapy is in order here if the kids are still chasing away women after 6 years. Next story. Am I the a-hole for causing a family argument over a slutty dress? I'm 19, female. I've never really been into fashion and have always dressed sort of tomboyishly. I was telling a friend about how I've never really worn a dress past the age of 7, and how I was looking for something fancy to wear too because I don't have those sorts of clothes at all. Always end up borrowing someone else's when I have to. After a lot of looking online, I finally found a dress I really liked. It's a basic satin slip dress with a mid-thigh slit. Not the kind of dress that would be unusual for someone my age to wear to a party. I've seen a lot of people wearing something similar. I asked my mom which color would look best on me as I really didn't know, and she's someone that's quite into fashion. She took one look at it and called it slutty and asked me why I wanted to look like that so badly. Later on, she told my dad about the inappropriate dress and he sided with her. He said the description of the dress made him queasy, and that although he wouldn't have used the words my mom did, he didn't think it was wrong for her to use them. He also said it was not like me to wear such clothing, which isn't false, but then I'm also 19 and need clothes other than sweatpants and oversized t-shirts. I'm not proud of it, but I lost my anger at them, which is why I believe I also may be in the wrong here, and said it wasn't fair to make me feel ashamed for going out of my comfort zone and trying something new. I feel weird and awkward doing feminine things. Makeup/dye my hair/paint my nails. Because I've always been told that's a bimbo/thing to do. I even agreed to stitch the slit up because it bothered my mom so much. She told me she was merely stating her opinion, but it was an opinion that was meant to shame me for something I was going to wear. If it matters, I am living in their house, but I paid for the dress with my own money. Now for the comments. Wow, just went straight for when your daughter tries to include you in the decisions she's new to. Nice one, Mom. Not the a-hole. This is the kind of parent who goes, "Why don't my kids talk to me?" when their kids finally move out of their house. Not the a-hole. Your parents sounds like real jerks. I hope you get that dress and wear it like a queen. I'm not proud of it, but I lost my anger at them, which is why I believe I also may be in the wrong here, and said it wasn't fair to make me feel ashamed for going out of my comfort zone and trying something new. I'm sorry you're not proud of yourself. If it helps, I'm very proud of you. Not the a-hole. Right? OP, I'm so glad you defended yourself. Also, burgundy seems like it would be a great choice. It's pretty universally flattering. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Your parents are horrible. You should try out whatever you want to. If you decide that's not your style, great. If it is, great. Don't let your parents' terrible attitudes and misogynistic ideas of how you should dress dissuade you from exploring your own personal style. Added to add, just because you are living under their roof doesn't mean they should control you. That's the fastest way to get any kid out of their parents' house and going no contact. Not the a-hole. I don't know what your parents are generally like, but I hope that this is us catching them at their worst. Your mom was being a giant a-hole for trying to shame you at all, let alone because you bought a dress. That's a terrible way to encourage your kids to grow and experience life. Also, a big WTF at your dad for being queasy about the description of the dress. If he's that physically averse to women's bodies, then it's a wonder that you were born in the first place. It totally reminds me of this one guy describing his daughter's period as an infection. In my opinion, you were right to have a strong reaction to their comments. They were way out of line and being downright hurtful for no reason. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for making myself nice meals and not my husband? So, I'll preface by saying me and my husband have vastly different tastes in basically everything. For the most part, it doesn't matter, but we clash heavily when it comes to food. Before we met, I basically never ate out, drank nothing but water and unsweet tea, with the occasional juice, and ate mostly vegetarian, always pretty healthy meals. When we started dating, I started eating out a lot more because that's what I always wanted to do, and I'm honestly easily influenced. I learned pretty quickly that he doesn't like anything that includes anything other than a variation of meat, cheese, and starch, rice, bread, pasta, potatoes. Not a single vegetable other than corn, no dairy except butter, no fruits, no grains, nothing. He also hates a majority of seasonings. I ended up adapting my cooking to suit his tastes, occasionally making myself healthy sides, but it bothered him so I mostly stopped. I tried to at least have healthy lunches or choose healthier options when eating out, which was still regularly. Eventually, we had a daughter, and now that she's getting old enough to eat with us, I'm pretty much done with how we eat. I don't like eating like this. I've gained weight and feel out of shape. My body feels awful, whatever. And I don't want our daughter to grow up not eating anything healthy and substantial. So I stopped agreeing to fast food and made him only get it for himself and started cooking nice meals again, which he of course hates. I've begged him to at least try and find something remotely healthy he likes eating. Quite frankly, my food doesn't even taste healthy. Our friends and family rave about how delicious it is even when it has stuff they normally don't like in it. It really shouldn't be that hard, but he refuses. So I told him he can make his own meals if he doesn't like ours, that I'm tired of eating unhealthy all the time. He accepted it at first, but he's gradually been getting more upset about it. He says it's not fair that we have these nice meals and he's stuck eating crap. I told him he's free to join. And what is making himself is literally the same things I'd made him anyways, minus some fancier things. And that I'd be willing to still make some of the fancier ones, just not so often. But he says it's not the same. And he wants nice healthy meals like ours, and it's not fair that he's being excluded. I told him unless he's willing to let me add spices and vegetables to the meals, I literally can't make him nice healthy meals like ours. There's only so many ways you can make a meal with just meal and starch, and you can only make it so healthy. Now he's been pouting because he says it's not fair he's the only one who doesn't get good food. and that I could at least try and include him, and I'm being an a-hole by not trying. I think it's being ridiculous to expect the same type of food we eat without me putting in literally any of the ingredients. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. His real complaint is that he's being excluded, which I suspect is actually a combination of resentment at having to cook for himself and resentment that you are implicitly teaching your kid that the way he eats is bad. Like, look at what you wrote. He was only okay with things when you completely adopted his way of cooking. Even you making yourself healthy sides bothered him to the point where you stopped doing it. You've given him option after option after option in terms of compromises, but the only thing he actually wants is total capitulation to his preferences. You shouldn't feel bad about what you're doing, and certainly shouldn't give in to his pity party. I saw that too, and was confused. Like you aren't even allowed a side of steamed broccoli because it offends him? That sounds controlling. I think he hates me eating fancy stuff without him. Basically anything that's not plain. Although apparently seeing me eat vegetables also grosses him out. Like for broccoli, I usually bake it, then toss it with some lemon, parmesan, salt, and pepper. Or say spiced carrots and parsnips, which are also baked after being tossed with olive oil, salt, pepper, cumin, allspice, paprika, and chili powder. He sees it as fancy, so it upsets him. So, you've got 2 children, is what I'm hearing. Like he can't even see you eat vegetables? I don't care if he's the best lover on the planet. I truly wouldn't be able to sleep with someone who had such an infantile aversion. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe.